Martin here along with Rick Doc Walker. 20th year of ACC football on JP Sports. And what a great way to start by looking at one of the great quarterbacks in this country, Philip Rivers.
Well, Philip Rivers gives you the total package. This young man's numbers are spectacular. 4 of his 5 ball games, he's been over 300 yards. 80% of completion rate, 12 touchdowns. He's done it all.
469 total yards against North Carolina in a win a week ago, and there's probably no bigger fan than the man who will coach against him today. 14th all-time NCAA passing yardage. He likely will finish career second if he throws another 1,700 yards. He's back to throw on 1st and 10. The pass complete to Jericho Cotchery, and Cotchery carries tackle. Ball just shy of the 29-yard line, out of the shotgun. Rivers has Hall in the backfield, 3-step drop, Hall in the flats, gets by a tackler, and he's on his way. Pick up the secondary. 1st and 10 at the 40. Pass complete to T.J. Williams, the tight end, and he's driven back and tackled there. 3 wideouts now, and the lone setback, Coach Jackson, and Philip Rivers called time. Didn't like what he saw. He's on camera.
I thought he was working camera for us.
Yeah, he's not in the fandom. 2nd down and 8 now for the Wolfpack at the 45-yard line. The handoff. That is their tops in the ACC and one of the leaders in the country. Rivers, headed he through. Wing to the right is Cotchery, Williams, and now Tremaine Hall. Coach Jackson lined up alongside Philip Rivers, who's back to throw on 3 steps. Has time, throw to the flats, Tremaine Hall complete. Hall for...
You can isolate a guy like Hall and put him out in space. So you see shotgun. And Rivers gets the snap and look at the feet, looks upfield. So you look upfield, then you turn over. Right now you get the safeties out of it. So you give your guy even more area. And folks, believe me, this guy believe it. I don't blame Coach Ray on that one.
2nd down, 23. Rivers out of the shotgun. Cotchery and Washington to the wide side of the field. That's where Rivers looks first. Rush is on. Pass complete. Tremaine Hall freezes the tackler, Houston. Wolfpack have been 3rd and long 3 times this afternoon.
Wolfpack call that a twofer.
There's Rivers. To throw, he has Clark. That's been solved. 3rd and a foot for the Wolfpack. They trail here 7-3. Back to throw, Rivers to the flats. No!
There's a millionaire.
Oh, he does. Exactly. That's petty cash to him. Here's the pass complete to Washington. His first for Philip Rivers on 2nd and 2. There's the snap. He's looking at those 3 wides, and he's got Clark completed midfield for a 1st down. And brought down there. Cotchery and Clark split wide to the right side. Left side, rather. That's the wide side of the field. Rivers. Some time, pass incomplete, intended for Washington. Down and 10 yards. Georgia Tech up by 10. Here's Rivers with time. Pass complete. That's Tremaine Hall. Heads for the corner and a block. Heads down the sideline. Can he walk the tightrope? He dropped out of bounds. They mark him out at the 16-yard line. But it's a gain of 31. Washington and Cotchery to the wide side of the field. Clark does a slant in. Rivers gives it a look and now runs on his own. Ball down from behind Ke'Aaron Fox. And as the ball knocked, Tech up by 10. Wolfpack in Georgia Tech territory. Rivers back to throw, has time, pass complete, touchdown! Jericho Cotchery.
Boy, that is strong.
A laser strike. Jericho Cotchery on the outside shoulder. The 2 slot receivers are Brian Clark and Richard Washington. Rivers back to throw. Scrambles out of the pocket. Flag is thrown, and he'll get down at the 39-yard line.
But you got to block with those feet, man.
1st and 20. Look at the 4 wideouts to the bottom of your screen as you see the penalty yards piling up in the Wolfpack. Now they'll break one out of that. Rivers, little bubble screen, and it is thrown out there on the corner to Washington, and NC State doesn't down this afternoon.
Keep my eye on Mr. Hall. That's one guy I wouldn't let go. He's unnoticed.
Bottom of your screen. Oh, bad snap. Rivers covers up.
We're talking LSU. Last week, Tennessee, Florida.
Here's the pass. It is complete to Tremaine Hall. and he is brought down at the 38-yard line in the first. 5 wideouts. Georgia Tech with a blitz on. Reese comes third down conversions, 48%. They're 1 for 5 today. 4 wideouts. Rivers, 3-step drop, pass complete. Brian Clark, and he's got the first. Second down and 11 on the loss of 1 by Josh Brown. NC State here down by 12. Rivers steps up, fires to Brown from blue in the ACC. They can't afford many more losses, and they're playing like it. Third down and 7. NC State down here by 12. They're at the Georgia Tech 30. Here is Rivers to pass. It is complete. That's Cotchery in motion on 1st and 10 at the 12. Rivers steps up, shakes off a tackle.
Just better than yours.
Clark is the receiver to the top side. The slot man is Cotchery. Rivers dumps it out to Tremaine Hall. Hall with running room at the 10, down to the 5, and gets down close to the first down. Tackled by Jackson, moves into the fullback spot. Here comes Rivers, back to throw, pass complete. No, T.J. Williams. The Georgia Tech 45, the last time down, settled for a field goal. They'd like to get 6 this time. They're 9 points back. Here's Rivers to throw on 1st and 10. Comes out of the pocket, shovel pass to Cote.
There was nobody open.
Throws. Jackson this time hauls it down, but not much of a gain there. And Ke'Aaron Fox is in on the stop. 3rd and 9.
Wolfpack has got to push it, threaten the deep third.
Down 22-13. Here's Rivers to throw. Complete first down. Cotchery. They bring Chris Reese into the ball game. Showing blitz. 2nd down and 12. And they're going. 2-man blitz with a 3-man front. Clark can't handle the ball. Reuben Houston in the area to cover. Looked to be right in his hand.
Yeah. And you go back to T.J. Williams, and one got away from him in the end zone. Now Clark. And so the Wolfpack become their own worst enemy. And you get good pass pro, and you get a guy open, but you don't cash in on it.
That was right in the stride. Trying to take advantage of the short field. Rivers has time. Gets out of the pocket. Can he find anybody? He does. Washington complete. Washington still short of the first down, but let's see what he progress report. 1st and 10. 4-down territory. Cotchery to the top. Play action to that side. Pass is caught. Jackson and Brown are behind. Here comes the fake handoff. Rivers pulls it out. Looks across the end zone. Now heads to the sidelines and throws at the last second, incomplete. Out, but it's going to be the 18, 1st and 10 for NC State here in the 3rd. Rivers guns on 1st and 10, out to Cotchery for a first down, and Dennis Davis will drive him out of bounds at the 38. A gain of about 20. Mike Hogwood on the sidelines has
Chip's going to be tested.
1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Out at their own 37-yard line. Back to throw. There's a twist on by Georgia Tech. Rivers will carry it. Stiffs arms one defensive back and gets pushed out of bounds. Of course, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. Back to throw. Here's Rivers. Has some time. Pass complete to Cotchery near the first down marker and in Georgia Tech territory at the 38. A 12 moves into the slot on the right side. Rivers throws that little flat pass out to Hall. He dodges a tackle. Gets a nice block from Cotchery on the corner. And is hauled down at the Georgia Tech 39-yard line of Georgia Tech. Wolfpack trailing by 9. Here's the flat pass, incomplete. It's behind the line of scrimmage. And continue to coach defenses. 7 of 28 on 3rd down coming into this game. Wes Durham of the Georgia Tech broadcast crew gave me that stat. 3rd and 1 here. Rivers, pass, complete, but it's not good at a first down. Bertrand actually free at the Georgia Tech 31-yard line, and they are going for it. In motion, Washington. Rivers, back to throw, across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Cotchery, who was not. Blocky threw for his quarterback to get him into the end zone. 1st and 10. Rivers, play fake, step back, looking downfield long, has a man there. T.J. Williams dropped it. Ball are split wide to the wide side of the field. Richard Washington to the short side or left. On second down and 10, Rivers back to throw. Rivers steps out, pass complete to Josh. Third down and 3. Here comes Rivers, overthrows. Jericho, 22-yard line. Philip Rivers out of the shotgun. Throwing to the flats, complete. Tremaine Hall drifts past Houston and gets a first down for the Wolfpack.
Oh, I tell you what, silver shoes.
Here is Rivers with time, and then it closes down. Back to throw. Here comes Rivers. Rivers pass, through the hands of Clark. 13 on third downs today. They came in here with a 48% on third down conversions. Rivers back to throw, biggest third down yet. Pass almost completed to Hall. Dennis Davis, Reuben Houston, Jonathan Cox covering on the play. Butler got a hand on it as well. And it goes to fourth down.
Well, it's the first play downfield that they've been contested in. That was a big series, a great opportunity that the Wolfpack let slip away.
And Austin Herbert comes out onto the football field. And the worst part about this situation, Doc, is Philip Rivers comes out on the field, 16 points down, with 86 seconds left to go and no timeouts. He'll throw on every down after Washington in the flats. Washington makes 2 tacklers miss, but the third Florida today, 20-17. Second down and 9 now for the Wolfpack. Down here by 16 and not an awful lot of room to work with. Clark gets the ball out in the open space. Cox drives. Newcomer to 1A football. Rivers with time. Pass complete to Washington over the middle. Washington still on his feet and to the field. Again, reminder that NC State has no timeouts left. 32 seconds left to go. Here's Phillips, steps up, fires, complete, Washington. He's 24 seconds left to go. Again, Rivers without a timeout. And he will down the football to stop. Reggie's played himself a ball game today. Philip Rivers.
Joe Hamilton-like, man.
Yep, second down and goal. Third such penalty that's happened to them today. It backs them up.
5-yard penalty.
Rivers with time, as one would predict. Rivers looking for some ad-libs here, and incomplete. 7 seconds. Came back to beat them today. Here is Rivers. Back to throw. Steps up. Fires. Touchdown. Richard Washington. You also have to look at NC State and say, well, could you have gotten more vertical to make up more yards? Here's Rivers throwing for the 2-point conversion, and Cotchery makes the catch.
Got it.
And he's got it.
I mean, this